Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 4th of April. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, okay, well, fell a lot overnight. I think that might have been because China's imposed tariffs and large retaliatory further tariffs have been posted against China. So I think the Chinese tariffs are up to 70% now. The Europeans haven't yet, but likely, in my opinion, will. And they're the two largest trading partners. A lot of the others, well, they're thinking about it. And of course, the tariffs haven't been imposed yet. That's happening, I think, on the 9th. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, we're making really good progress. We managed to get down to about 5,200 overnight. I think on ES, I'm really looking for about the 5070, 5080 area. That gets us to the target trend line where I'm thinking we might see a decent rally. In the short term, we don't have any positive divergence. Wouldn't be hard to set some up, but ideally we'd fall in the next couple of days down to the target area, set up positive divergence there across the board, and then go up. That's my wish list, but we'll see how that goes. All right, NQ nicely down overnight. RTY further down as well. YM has had a decent move down, and I'm thinking we might have broken down below those trend lines I posted, which I was a bit concerned about. SPX definitely would have done. So I was a little concerned they might hold those because they're blocking the way to the main actual targets. Looking at DAX, we've made the double top target. The European stocks have started reacting properly now, which they hadn't really until Liberation Day. So, and I'm expecting to see more of the same. ESTX, well down. Didn't have a top pattern there, but if we had, it would have made target. All right, looking at the bigger picture charts, let's have a look at those now. I'm going to have much more for you on Sunday because I can work in, obviously, we haven't actually seen the overnight included on this yet, but I've been working on trend lines over the weekend, so we'll see how we're landing there, but I think there's a pretty good chance on Dia we're going to go through this trend line here and very possibly this one on the way down to the target, and the real target is down in the 370 to 380 area. That's the area I would like to reach. Not sure it's going to get all the way there. This has been the strongest of the various indices. Now, one thing to mention is that obviously we're at the 3SD lower band. Now that is a bit of a concern. We're not quite there. 3SD lower bands was at 53.83. It's because the bands are now expanding, and because they are the 20 moving average was already moving down, we should see a large expansion today. But we will see because we're going to open well below it. This is an area to be watching out for a bounce. I'm not seeing a lot of sign of it, but it is an area to be wary of a bounce. But in terms of a really strong move like this, we can see it go down an awful lot and the 3SD lower band go down with it. So I'll be watching that very carefully at the close today. Nice volume spike yesterday, not huge, but pretty significant. Looking at the Qs, we actually closed slightly above the 3SD lower band at 448.60, so we closed at 450.66, and we actually, the low was the low. Looking at the Qs, nice move down here. We'd made the target already, but what I'm looking at is the big possible support area here, basically in the 420 area ideally, but with another possible level down at 410, which actually would be my preferred, I think. So we're making good progress down towards that, and I'm wondering if we could possibly see SPX, Qs, and Dia all hit those targets together. Dia, this is actually holding up better than the others, but we still weren't that far away from the 3SD lower band, and we were below the daily lower band here. Watching to see what happens here, but this is progressing pretty nicely too. I'm watching these trend lines today to see if they both break. I would like them to, and I think there's a pretty good chance they're going to. All right, looking at IWM. IWM, we've got on the monthly chart. I'm just noting that we've got this big double top here. I'm keeping an open mind on this one, but I was talking about this on my post the other day. But it's something I'm watching with a bit of concern because we've got a really good support level not that far below, which I'm thinking is probably going to hold. In the short term, IWM may reach target today on 182.5, and we broke the obvious support trend line there yesterday. We'll see how that goes today. But this is all really progressing pretty well. So I'm liking the downside here, and we will see how we're doing on trend lines over the weekend. Because after I've got today's data, I'll have a fair amount ready for the bigger picture webinar on Sunday night. So watch out for that. Looking at DAX, this is created overnight and made this target. I think we're going to go through, pretty obvious, we're going to go through this trend line here. I've actually got a target down here in the 19,000 and change area, which would be the obvious megaphone support, and that might hold if we get there. We will see how that goes. Nikkei, Nikkei, wow. This is really cratering. Again, we had pretty large tariffs put on Japan. It hasn't responded to those yet, although China has. But China and Japan and South Korea were planning to respond together. That hasn't happened so far. Watching to see whether it does. Okay, looking at DX. The current trade war is likely to be very bad for DX, but we're seeing some interesting action overnight. It's pretty wild action, actually. Let's just go through that. Now, if we made it down to 101, I've got a support level there. I'll go through, just have a quick look at the bigger picture charts on these after I've had a look at the futures. So I'm watching that, but really the big target's down at about the 96, 97 area. ZB has gone higher, and this is no longer looking like a double top, and this is something I was talking about in the bigger picture a couple of sessions ago. We've got a weak 6-minute sell signal fix. That's not really delivered anything, and I'm not looking for it to particularly either. Looking at TNX, I've drawn in some options here. Now, one thing I mentioned, I think maybe last Sunday or the previous Wednesday on TNX, was what we could do is be forming a larger flag here. And I think that may well be the case. Hang on 1 second. Right, now we're now testing this possible support trend line down here, but if we see a breakdown, I'm wondering about a move down to the 32, 33 area as part of a larger bull flag. And this would be the opportunity to do it because we haven't started to see real selling yet on bonds, and as the US starts being edged out as a reserve currency, because mainly, if for nothing else, because of its reduced volume in world trade, which is likely coming. At that stage, it's going to be very hard not to see bonds going up quite a bit. But in the meantime, we could actually make that target. I'm wondering if we will. We will see. No current divergence, but I was talking about this head and shoulders here, and this head and shoulders is broken down. Now the target on that is only at 36 because it only goes to the bottom of the preceding trend. So, but I would have an extended target, which would be down in about the 33 area, and this could be getting us towards our target. We will see. Looking at USD. This is the main pattern here. I'm really looking for a move down to this area here, 96, 97, and then a possible break below when we get there. But obviously we need to see that test. And at the moment, I'm reading this as a fairly decent looking bull flag. If it is a bull flag, then we probably find support there and possibly might go back and retest this high. But sometimes a flag that breaks the wrong way is the topping pattern, and I'm wondering if we might see that here, in which case, if we saw a break below the 97 area, we would be looking at a target in about the 80 area, which I have to say by historical standards wouldn't be a huge move down, because obviously we've spent long periods below 80. So we will see how that goes. But I'm watching that with great interest. And we will see. In the short term, the support I was talking about was this support here, which I had in about the 100.5 area, and I think we're either testing this now or we'll be testing it shortly. We've seen some wild action on the and a lot of variation on terms of the currency charts. USD is just mirroring DX really, but that's not surprising. It's 57% of the DX basket. GBP USD, we've made a new high with some confidence and then done a sharp back test. USD JPY has cratered, and this correlates positively with the dollar, so that fits. Same with CAD, but we're seeing a big bounce here. This is surprising. With the dollar cratering, the Australian dollar should be going up, although I'm not even sure it's in the dollar basket. But this is actually really seen a serious move down overnight. And on NZ, I've got this as a double top, which is starting to break down. So I'm watching this with great interest and thinking this might, well, it's a big double top. So this could get us down. This could get us down into about the 54.50 area. That could be a decent move. So, all right, looking at KC, still wondering about ABC, and that would have a target in about the 355 area. SB, might be retesting this low. If so, that could be the second low of a double bottom to take us higher. But commodities have been struggling in the face of the environment this week. CC, we're seeing a bit of reversal here, but this I'd expect to hold up better probably than the others. Wheat looks as though maybe heading back to the lows. Corn, we've got wheat and corn, we've got nice looking potential level bottoms here, and they're holding up okay. Soy, I've been wondering about a retest this low, and we haven't seen it yet. We've now seen it. This could be the second low of a double top bottom, and we could have double bottoms all across corn, wheat, and soy, but obviously we could just break down from here, and that would kill the patterns. CT, we broke down from what I was saying was a likely bear flag, and we've made the target. That was a retest of 6250, and it went through it and hasn't stopped yet. No current divergence. Live cattle, nice looking double top, might deliver. Lumber, we've seen it go significantly lower, and that's kind of what I expected, so may well go lower still. Looking at lean hogs, not much movement, still wondering about a retest this low here in the 91.875 area. All right, let's have a look at questions. All right, no questions. Well, my pleasure as always. We will see how it goes. But I'm really liking the action. I still really like the support levels I was looking at, and I'm not seeing any current reasons to think. I mean, one thing I've been watching out for is a lot of positive divergence across the board on equities. Not seeing that yet. We could get that intraday today, but I'm really liking the downside. It won't be a straight line though. We will also see some sizable rallies, but at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, they are to be sold. All right, great. Cheers, guys. Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you on Monday. But actually, bigger picture webinar on Sunday if you can. I'll have a lot more trend lines then.